Okay, I'll talk loud, and then I'll really, when he comes. Okay, there we go. Good morning, everybody. I've missed you the last couple months, and it's good to be here. Thank you all for your prayers. I appreciate it. My heart is beating, and it's full of love for Jesus, so it's good to be here. Well, for those of you who have not been here when I have talked about healthy hints before, and those of you who have forgotten what I've said over the last couple months, we are looking at the 8 laws of health. And we are looking specifically at them as to how they affect our immune system. So they have a broad application, but today I want you to keep focused on that we are looking specifically at what we can do to boost our immunity. And we've looked at getting pure air and enough sunshine. We've looked at being temperate in how we eat and avoiding alcohol and getting enough rest and exercise. Today, we come to diet. And please don't groan. I know that that is considered meddling. And I want to remind you that I don't bring you my message, right? This is God's word. What he says about diet was established at the very beginning in Genesis 2. If you want to refresh yourself later, read that chapter again. And then there's this advice in Healthful Living that says the laws governing the physical nature are as truly divine in their origin and character as the law of the 10 Commandments. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? Man is fearfully and wonderfully made, for Jehovah has inscribed his law by his own mighty hand on every part of the human body. So the message, if I was just standing up here and going to give you a talk on diet, what Connie would recommend before she knew the health message, I would join Marie Antoinette and say, oh, let them eat cake, right? You would all love me, right? If that's what I had to say to you today. Unfortunately, that wasn't God's original plan, and so I am sharing with you God's words, not Connie's. So today we're looking at foods that destroy our immune system and also at foods that can boost our immune system. So things we're putting in our mouth can hurt us or help us. And let's look at just a few. There's a huge list, but I've tried to put it in a brief number that you could remember, okay? And the first one is red meat. Do you know that there's a natural sugar that occurs as a reaction in our bodies when we try to digest red meat, that we can't fully digest a sugar that's present in it, and that's what damages the immune system and also leads to cancer. So red meat tops the list. Fried foods comes in next because there's all sorts of inflammatory ingredients in fried foods. When you are frying, you change the molecular structure of the oils that actually is damaging our body. Soda. Oh, if you are drinking soda, even if you think you are picking a good one, it doesn't matter what it's sweetened with. It is still bad for you. They have done many studies that show that soda drinkers do not consume enough vitamins and minerals because they're replacing eating good food by drinking soda. And also the carbonation in the soda makes you excrete calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and all of those things help your immune system. So if you are drinking soda, you're taking them out. The next one is sugary snacks, and that's pretty much common sense, right? We know that sugar is a cold's best friend because we've talked before about how sugar destroys the immune system by just inviting the bacteria to have a party in us. Processed foods is the last one on our list, and processed foods have huge amounts of oil, sugar, salt, things that all suppress the immune system. I like what this one doctor said. He was doing a study that showed that toxins of a modern diet completely outweigh the possible nutritional gains. All this is leading us to weaker immune systems, higher rate of illnesses and diseases, and all around poor health. So this is a well-known scientist. If you look at all those things behind his name, I don't even know what they all mean, but he knows what he's talking about. So foods that boost your immunity. This is a list that probably you already know. Raw foods would be at the top of the list. Why do we stay healthier during the summer than we do in the winter? Because we eat a lot more raw foods. If we would continue that during the winter, our immune system would be very grateful. Then there's all sorts of foods that I don't have time to tell you all of the good benefits, but you know, your mom has told you. Eat your greens. Mushrooms was the surprising one on that list for me. Mushrooms actually increase the production and activity of white blood cells. Did you know that? Now, Larry and I have had a lot of debates about whether you should eat mushrooms or not, so that's another topic about that, because he says they won't be eaten in heaven because they're a fungi. But we're looking at the immune system today, right? So we'll debate mushroom eating another day, but for right now, know that it is really good for your white blood cells. And then almonds and ginger, and the list could go on and on. I think Ellen White sums it up best when she says that grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables constitute the diet chosen for us by our Creator. These foods, prepared in as simple and natural a manner as possible, are the most healthful and nourishing. They impart a strength, a power of endurance. Couldn't we interpret that to be boosting our immune system? And a vigor of intellect that are not afforded by a more complex and stimulating diet. In our lesson, our Sabbath school lesson last quarter, we looked at Daniel and the example he gave us, and I really liked what the author said because he was reminding us of the faithfulness of Daniel in his diet choices. And the author said, referring to Daniel and his friends, they obeyed, and God blessed their obedience. Will he not also do that for us today in the last days if we are faithful? I hope you'll ponder that this afternoon. And forgive me if I've stepped on toes about what you should or should not be eating. And remember whose words these are. Happy Sabbath.